Welcome to Radio Express World News, presented by Vibha Ramesh, Los Angeles, United States. On Thursday afternoon, the United States surpassed a summated total of 8 million known cases of coronavirus as the nation is at risk of entering its third peak since the start of the pandemic. Data has it that 41 states have been reporting an increased number of infections in the last 2 weeks, 17 of which are battling an unprecedented spike, while the remaining 9 states are barely maintaining steady numbers. Adding to this crisis is the woes of nearly 8 million Americans that have been pushed to the brink of poverty following the expiry of the unemployment benefits. Moreover, the expansion of the benefits as a safety net that helped keep millions of people afloat during spring is now exhausted. That said, the deadlock on the stimulus bill took another turn yesterday, with President Trump announcing that he'd like to go in for a bigger package. The package initially proposed by the White House negotiators was $1.8 trillion. However, Trump suggested going higher on that figure. Subsequently, the White House has shown willingness to make concessions to Democrats. However, the probability of Senate Republicans approving the higher bill is relatively less, as they had proposed a much smaller bill of their own. Meanwhile, Senator Kamala Harris has halted all in-person campaigning through Sunday because 2 people that she traveled with tested positive for the virus. Over to the United Kingdom, the number of new infections in London has moved up in recent days, with the average number of cases standing at 97 per 100,000 people. The figure puts London on the verge of moving from medium to high-risk alert level. Hence, the city joins Paris and Berlin in strengthening its restrictions. To this end, stricter restrictions will come into effect on Saturday, which includes the prohibition of people from different households meeting indoors and a ban on the usage of public transportation. The newer restrictions will also apply to some parts of northern and central England. Meanwhile, France's Prime Minister Jean Castex brought the entire country into the fold of the new health restrictions. With the newer restrictions coming into motion this Saturday, restaurants will have to limit table size to no more than 6 people and diligently maintain information of its customers to enable efficient contact tracing. It also includes a ban on private parties in public spaces, a cap on the number of visitors in cultural venues and malls. Further, a curfew between 9 p.m. and 6 a.m. will be imposed on residents of affected areas. However, if they have a dire requirement to leave their homes during that time, they will have to carry a form explaining the reasons for travel. Activities that fall outside the purview of the restrictions are trips for health reasons, work, dog walking, and commuting to and from train stations and airports. Moreover, nearly 12,000 police officers will be deployed with the task of ensuring that the entire country follows the enforcement. If the virus was one thing most countries are battling, India is dealing with another challenge that accelerates the risk of contracting the dangerous virus. That challenge came in the form of a thick smog in the capital city, signaling the start of the pollution season. The blanket-like smog that hung over the capital raised widespread concern among doctors and scientists who warned that the deteriorating air quality could make the city's COVID-19 problems even worse. Even in the light of a twin challenge, India opened its movie theaters yesterday after a 7-month shutdown. A public interest litigation that alleged the breach of data security prompted the Supreme Court to seek responses from big players like Amazon Pay and Google Pay. Moving on, Singapore and Hong Kong are coming together to implement yet another strategy that would help curb the spread of the coronavirus. To this effect, officials in the 2 cities announced their plan to create a travel bubble between the 2 Asian financial centers. This eliminates the need for travelers to quarantine. According to the agreement, travelers must test negative for the virus and should fly only on designated flights. Hong Kong Secretary for Commerce and Economic Development stated that this agreement was a milestone in their efforts to revert to pre-coronavirus days. The recent surge in infections in Portugal has led to the enforcement of new restrictions, which includes a limit on public gatherings to 5 people. And Salamanca in Spain became the latest area to be cut off from the rest of the country, with new lockdown restrictions taking effect on Saturday. Sweden has announced plans of strengthening its defense base, especially in the light of the growing tensions with Russia. To this end, military spending will be increased by 40% in the next 5 years, and the number of people enrolling into its armed forces will be doubled. Quoting the words of the Defense Minister Peter Hultquist, as told to reporters, "We have a situation where the Russian side is willing to use military means to achieve political goals. Based on that, we have a new geopolitical security situation to deal with." Bringing you to the last from Italy, in a clandestine operation, police seized 4,200 counterfeit bottles of a prestigious Super Tuscan wine. The confiscated wine would fetch up to €360 a bottle. The confiscation was accompanied by the arrests of 2 people and putting 11 others on investigation. The prestigious wine is said to have originated in Sicily, with the bottles coming from Turkey and the labels in wooden boxes hailing from Bulgaria. With that, we come to the end of this news bulletin. Thank you for joining us. Please stay tuned for the next program on Radio Express. To receive Radio Express English news and English programs in your WhatsApp, please send a WhatsApp message, English programs, to 90727 95547. And please subscribe to our YouTube channel, Radio Express. Thank you.